LiberalViewer present.
So Bill O'Reilly on Fox News has the most problems with his mouth, it seems, when he's off the teleprompter and he's doing it live, which may explain the sexist personal attack he directed at 88-year-old legendary journalist Helen Thomas during the Fox News analysis of President Obama's press conference last week that you can see here.
The White House press corps looked intimidated to me. Didn't they look intimidated? No. Except for that, what's her name, the old lady, Helen Thomas. She was yelling even past her credit, and he just ignored her.
She's pretty good.
She actually, here's what she actually asked.
Is that your Helen Thomas impression?
Yeah.
Is that your Helen Thomas impression?
It's like the Wicked Witch of the East.
I didn't know you did impersonations.
Here's what if I were Obama, I would have poured water on her, and she'd dissolve.
Bill, it's not nice to impersonate an older woman.
It doesn't matter.
Like that.
I know she's a legend. But she actually asked a question. Do you think the Taliban's hiding in Pakistan?
Yeah.
That was her question. Yeah. So my question to you is, why can't my mom ask a question? Why can't my mom? How about your mom?
Does your mom have a 40-year journalistic career where she's...
Well, with all due respect to Helen Thomas, I don't know if that was the highlight tonight of her career.
Well,
okay? Do you think there are Taliban hiding in Pakistan?
All right, Bill,
what kind of a press conference is this?
Now, not only did O'Reilly egregiously misuse the phrase "with all due respect" in that last part, but he mischaracterized Helen Thomas's question at the press conference he had just watched, which actually was not a question about whether the Taliban are hiding in Pakistan, but was about whether America's ally Pakistan is maintaining those safe havens, and she even added in a question trying to get Obama to admit to Israel's nuclear arsenal, as you can see here.
Mr. President, do you think that Pakistan and are maintaining the safe havens in Afghanistan for these so-called terrorists? And also, do you know of any country in the Middle East that has nuclear weapons?
Not bad for an 88-year-old, or anyone really, asking a question in front of millions of viewers, but O'Reilly not only would not apologize for his sexist personal attack on Helen Thomas, but worse, he tried to obscure his own wrongdoing with an accusation of hypocrisy against one of his critics, and not very successfully, as you can see here.
Back in the book segment tonight, Reality Check, where we cut through the BS and tell you the truth, and boy, is that needed today. Check one. Last night on The Factor, Courtney Martin from the Women's Media Center demanded that I apologize to Helen Thomas for mocking her and comparing her voice to the Wicked Witch of Oz. The group called me sexist. I gently, well, maybe that's not the right word, pointed out to Miss Martin that her group didn't defend Sarah Palin when the media mocked her all day long. So there may be some hypocrisy involved. Miss Martin said she did defend the governor. If you are really in it for the women, and you didn't object to the way that woman was treated, Sarah Palin, then you don't have anything to say anymore. So just think about it.
Bill, once again, I completely defend Sarah Palin's right to run and be taken for her politics.
You did not defend it in public. And if you can show me where you did, tomorrow night I will apologize to you. Well, now we find out that Miss Martin's so-called defense of Sarah Palin had to do with my appearance on The View.
Why won't Sarah Palin come on your program?
I want her to come in. I have outfits she can wear. I want her to come in. If the governor is watching, come on in. Now, after seeing that, Courtney Martin wrote, I was sexist for even mentioning the governor's clothing situation. The Women's Media Center had no problem with Tina Fey, NBC News, or any of the other 10,000 cheap shots the media took at Sarah Palin. I was the problem.
Now, it looks to me like Bill O'Reilly is a problem, and that he owes an apology not just to Helen Thomas, but also to Courtney Martin, who consistently pointed out O'Reilly's sexism, whether it was directed at liberal Helen Thomas or conservative Sarah Palin, which means, I think, that for O'Reilly, sexism is even stronger than political ideology. But I want to know what you think. Is Bill O'Reilly consistently sexist whether he is dealing with liberal Helen Thomas or conservative Sarah Palin? And you can actually find the answer to this next question at tinyurl.com/hypocritebill, but here's the question. If people on the left use similar derogatory language about 87-year-old conservative Nancy Reagan as Bill O'Reilly used about 88-year-old liberal Helen Thomas, wouldn't Bill O'Reilly refer to it as hate speech and compare it to Nazism?
YouTube, you decide.